Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Emberpelt Z. Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. Emberpelt Z, where I tried to do some digging and I couldn't find any amplifying data on breeding for these guys. So I'm going to continue on with my assumptions, and if anybody in the comment section down below, and if I am recording this before that the first episode goes live, so you guys can berate me in the comment section as much as you want on this go as well, pertaining to their growth and development. But we'll work on that as time progresses, right? That being said, today we're going to focus on building up. So that means building power so that we can actually turn all of our lumber into planks and various other things, so we can start progressing towards getting into this, maybe getting the number cruncher up and running, which is going to require a lot of science running, so we can get to the 1,000 or 1,500 science required for the number cruncher, so we can get that running. And I would like to start building off the edge as much as possible, because we are very limited in our real estate as far as like ground level is concerned. So I would like to get to overhangs as soon as practicable. And that also means that I would like to get into explosives soon too, because if we look down here, that is where our metal is hiding, right? So we need to get down into here somehow, which means blasting this out. So we're going to have to get into bad tide or bad water, which means crawling down here, which again brings us back to the whole planks thing, right? So we're going to need a copious amount of planks. We're going to need a copious amount of lumber. So that means lumber storage, which means we need to start stacking our storages. And you see where this all leads to, right? We need a lot of stuff rocking and rolling in order to get things moving. So let's go ahead and get into the game. We're going to go and hit that 3x speed. Let the game rock and roll to its heart's content. We do have another drought coming up on us right now. I'm not, like I said, not too concerned about our bad tide. Future prospects are fine on this end, and our current beaver population is doing pretty good, so I'm not too concerned about expanding it quite yet. Well, we've already got an expansion in the progress, but like we discovered at the end of last episode, we're kind of hampered by some mechanics somewhere as far as beaver population growth is concerned. So I'm going to keep an eye on our berries and see if that goes down and our beaver population goes up. That means that they are using them as aphrodisiacs. It's like little chocolate bits for them, you know. But I digress. Now, I wanted to do two things. First, I wanted to do our next storage, which is the medium tank, which is going to double our max capacity for water storage, and that's going to put us right in here, or maybe we put that back in here somewhere, or maybe even back here, since we do have this area accessible now. Maybe that's what we'll end up doing. I might go ahead and just do that. Do I have the science? I do have the science to do that, so we'll go ahead and tack that in right there. I do want to give them a way down here somehow. I haven't quite figured out how I want to get them access up to here from this side, as opposed to having to go halfway around the world to do all of that. But that is fine for now. We'll go ahead and let them work on that. I think I still have this pause, so that isn't going to get built anytime soon. These guys are kind of bored, so I'm going to pause one of them and get one of them into here to work for now, since we do have a desire for science. We'll let science continue to rock on out, and I want to look at what we wanted in here. Now, we do have overhangs. Those cost pretty much. We want to come into industry. We do need 100 science for the gear workshop. Now, that's not going to be very helpful for us because we don't have a source of power at this moment, because we are, again, about to run right into our drought. So we're going to pause that guy too. I just unpaused one. There we go. Now we have double the science running. This is all going to stay irrigated for us, which is going to be beneficial. You can be paused as well, and we can plus this up so we can get some building going a little bit quicker. Now we should have all of the materials on hand, 30 planks and 20 logs. We do, so that's going to be easy for them to knock out. Now the question is, I'm going to pause the game here. Power-wise, the small engine calls for 10 planks. So, do we want to save the planks, or do we want to... Well, what is the compact wheel or large power wheel? It's going to be 50... That's going to be a lot of power. It's burning beavers too, so I don't know if I like that idea. Okay, and back to the... When did that happen? That happened earlier, so that's not within... So let's let them work on that. We can come in here and we can unlock the windmill. Maybe that would be beneficial to us. We could put that up here, I suppose. Now we need this unlocked too. That's going to cost planks too, and that costs planks as well. So that's not going to help anybody at all. So maybe what we need to do is rip this out and put in a large power wheel for now. And then we can start progressing towards our engine the other way. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's rip that out, rip that portion out right there. We do need to give them a way into it. So that means we're going to have to rip out these, or at least that one. So let's not... Okay, well, okay. I saved it. That was tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. We go path here. We have the lumber, so that shouldn't be a problem for us. We'll get the large power wheel in. That will give us one beaver to actually work in here, and then that'll let us turn on the lumber mill again. So we could take advantage of that while we can, and science is moving in the positive direction again, so that means that we can come in here, and I want to wait for a little bit. So we need 12 clay, 10 planks, and 20 logs. So the moment we tear this apart, if we look at this, we're going to get 75% of that back, which isn't the most, but it is something. I did not give them a path to that. Oops. There we go. Now they've got a path to get water up there. That'll be good. We can start filling that in as time goes. I don't want to pump this out during the drought. We have 6 days remaining of this drought. It looks like it was about an 8-day drought. That's not too bad. Not the worst, not the best. I'll accept it though for what it is. And maybe we could think about putting in our press. Now that requires 50 power as well as 120 science, but I also want our engine, which produces 250 power and burns logs, which is totally acceptable. I'm down for that. I did forget to put in somebody over here to help out with this. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We should have the planks build that. That shouldn't be an issue. And we can toss in on top of there a gatherer flag. Come over here and collect all those apples for us. Apples, you know, apple a day keeps the demon water away, I guess. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point. We're going to go ahead and chuck in another storage there for our apples. There we go. There we go. That's what we wanted. That's going to take a few of our planks away, which is okay. We are producing them now positively, though, so that is awesome to see. Now we have the science available to us to go ahead and unlock the small engine. But we need 10 planks for that. We have all of our planks allocated, taken care of. So that's good. That means that we should be able to go ahead and destroy this, knowing that I'm losing 12 logs, which is fine. And we can actually pause this guy and then destroy that. Now, we should have enough planks to come in here and unlock this bad Johnny. Oh, that's a much smaller... Oh, that is an interesting building setup. Okay. Okay. All right, and it doesn't pass power through the tiny little lodge here. That's good to know. That'll be interesting. So we do need to put in a power shaft right here. Now we do have access back here still, so that is good. Now that's going to burn logs for now, right? The next tier up, that's what burns our charcoal. Yes, but we don't have that unlocked yet, or even the gears or the metal blocks unlocked yet either. So no haulers in district. You need a hauler? I need haulers to run that. Okay. That is an interesting requirement. We can put in a hauling post somewhere, maybe up here, I suppose. That's going to be 10 planks. Oh, that's not cool, bro. That is not cool, bro. Okay. So does that mean nobody's going to feed that thing? Nobody's going to feed that thing because... Well, that stinks. Cool. I don't want to do this again, but I need haulers in order to put that in there, and I need planks in order to get that built. Is there anything I can destroy to get planks? I could destroy this. That's 3 planks. Let them come up here and grab those. They've already gotten that. Let's destroy that. That's another 3 planks. They should be able to get up there, grab that. Hopefully they're not... Okay, they're just putting them up for now, which is totally fine. That's acceptable. Now we've got the material that we need. Sweet. Now I don't have to worry about building another thing to lose more lumber. So that is fantastic. You'll love to see it. Probably should get somebody in here to help clean up some more of this, because this one guy, Kabootster, not doing it, okay? Not quite meeting the demand. Yeah, that goes there. That's good. See about maybe something for happiness a little bit. I don't know. A scratch post. That's 100 science. Is that ridiculous and unnecessary? Probably. So we're not going to do that. Okay, that does not need to be that full. No, 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 no. We are moving in the positive direction as far as our beavers are concerned. But I don't see a drop in berries. Maybe it's just some sort of... I don't know. I am much confusion. Much confusion. All right. So now we can turn that on, which means we can turn this back on. Now this should theoretically produce enough power to meet the demand for that, and then also meet the demand for our gear workshop, which we just now have enough science to unlock that, which is going to require 25 planks, which is going to take a minute to produce. Now we've got power moving. There we go. Let's prioritize this by haulers just so that they bring the lumber over to it. And maybe we could find a place to put in a small industrial pile to put lumber into so they don't have to haul it as far. Maybe. I'm not sure. We've already collected all the apples over here, so that's good to see. But that means that we could probably pause you until everything else gets accomplished. Now we need to unpause these two. We are running low on water, and that is not good. We do only have 0.2 days remaining of the drought, though, so that is perfectly acceptable. And I do want to pause you. How did they... Okay, so that's really strange. Anyway, that's in... Go ahead and put in a small warehouse here. I don't know if this is worth it or not, but I'm going to put those down there anyway. That is in the appropriate position. That is good. We do have these berries in, so that is good for when those stop producing for us in our next drought. Or not drought, bad tide, which is okay. That's acceptable. I do want to get some more clay and bricks on the roll. I also want to get in another kiln so we can start producing our next tier of power. By that I mean charcoal, so we could start working on the engine. So that produces a lot more juice for us, and we also need to start thinking about another place to get more real estate. We need more real estate. Real estate is becoming a premium at this point. We have all this over here, but I don't want to use any of that because that's perfect farmland. We could blast this down somehow in the near future so we can get access to, or just put our farms on top of these, or we could just do something silly like this. We go like that. Would that even work? Let me pause. Let me think about this for a second. Stairs, that would block that access off. We won't be able to... we could just do stairs up to... Where are my stairs? Right there. Wooden stairs. And then we do path along right here. Then do our farmhouse right here. And then another farmhouse on the other side. Doesn't really help out too much, but then we can just put in our staircase right here, and that means that that should expand to that side too. So that will be good. It will path up there like this. So those two are connected, and we can put in, I don't know, another storage up here or something. Maybe right here for future proofing. So we'll do something like that and like that. That'll be something for them to work towards. We don't have the planks for that. I don't know where the planks are going right now, honestly, other than, I guess, gears. That kind of makes sense that they're being turned into gears. Now let's look at something else in here. I need better power, which means we need better science or more science, which we're still quite a ways away from. I don't think we need much more in the way of gears right now. Because we're not really... Oh, the press. I wanted to get the press unlocked, but that requires more science. We are getting raked over the coals by science right now. Give that a minor boost, and the same thing there. So that we weren't fighting the hauling post for these positions. I'd rather have these filled than the hauling post right now, just because the science is a requirement. I will pause that, because we don't necessarily have the beavers that we need to fill these positions, nor do we have much that we can really do with any of the next tier of crops. The beets, I guess we could... Do we... No, you grill corn. Corn is something that we could do. Does the grilled corn require anything extra? Nope, it's just corn, logs, and we get grilled corn. Alright. That is something that I could get behind. Now, where do we put grilled corn? Or where do we make corn? Over here, I suppose. Means that gets pulled down to Tiny, just working in there by herself. This needs to get built. So we'll give that a priority bump so that this gains us access to this side. We can pause you for now since we're full on gears. That is okay. Let's see. Need the lumber moving in still, so you can keep working. You can keep working over there as well. Water's not exactly in the best position, but it is moving in the positive direction. We're still at 15 kits. Huh. I do want to pause you. I don't think that they're using the berries. Maybe they're just really slow to... I don't know. I don't know. We had a couple born. Alright. I should probably come up here and block this side off so we just have water going this way. That would expedite this, honestly. Give us a bit more power, potentially. Just more water running over the water wheels. Means more potential power, theoretically. At least in my brain, that's how that works. It's That doesn't mean that's necessarily how that works, though. So that's fine. Now, I do want to come in here, and we wanted corn, right? So corn goes here. You should be able to reach all of that. You can. Great. I'm going to have you focus on corn. And then once we have the corn popped up or all planted, which takes 10 days, so that's going to be a cycle and some change to get all that up and going for us. Now, let's see. We can come over here and actually... It's in this one. Let's go ahead and just path across here. We have the science to unlock this. No, we do not. We can just put that in right there. And we can make our path across the top like this. Like that. And we can get over here and start working on clearing this out. All right. So that's our first bad side notification. I think we'll be fine. By that, I'm 95% sure we'll be fine. I probably should get in some more water pumpers, honestly. So I will do that just to speed up the filling of our tanks. And I should probably put in another tank here. Make that water. And we'll give these two max priorities. Oh, they've already got that in. I want that to be a priority over the other things that we have going on over here, which they've already almost gotten done anyway. Okay, that's fine. That's acceptable. I'm down for that. Now, that's going to encroach on some of the real estate that we wanted to use for other things, but that's okay. Push comes to shove. We can move this over to that side, or we can put housing somewhere else. Where that somewhere else is right now, I do not know, but we're at 150 science, and I wanted to do something next. Let's see here. Mine. Oh, that requires bricks for their mine. Okay, interesting. Smelter. Okay, we need 250 science for the scavenger flag, which we need in order to get into other stuff. 120 science for the press. Now, we can't fit the press in right there, but we can fit the press in right here. And that means that we need to start moving towards canola oil. And I think we'll do low on this construction site. And are you pumping? Cat, are you pumping your log? Ma'am? Are you? Okay, you are pumping your log. Good, 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 good. Now, that requires 20 planks, or 20 gears, so we'll get Karma back in there to actually work on that for us for a little bit. And that means that we've pulled away from other positions, but I do get to pause you after I plant some canola. Go ahead and plant some canola right there. Get that moving. That should irrigate enough of this. And I need to remember to pull this up in 0.9 days. And I think we can actually start pulling back on some of this now. There's no reason to have this many radishes, I think. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself to make irrational and rational decisions. I don't know. I haven't yet decided. Now, we don't have planks moving quite nearly fast enough to get this additional medium tank in, which is kind of stinky. But we will have access to 3 additional beavers to do beavery things here in a few seconds to go out and do some more stuff. I'm going to pause you now, though, since there's no need for you to be in there. And apparently I could have... I'm going to just go and start slowly closing that bad Johnny. And we're going to pause these 3. We're going to up this a little bit, and we will up that there. Then, well, we could go ahead and watch this eradicate, hopefully just that portion right there, and doesn't eke over and destroy any of our canola seeds. That would be quite beneficial. Now, we are missing out on the plank production, which is kind of stinky. And I still need a way to get in here to do something about our next tier of product procurement, which is scrap metal. Scrap metal is going to jump us into the next tier pretty nicely. And this did work as advertised. All of our berries are no longer a thing anymore, which is kind of stinky. But we haven't had a drop in berries, so I don't know what the holdup was in kit production, but kits are now moving, so that's all that matters, I suppose. I'm down for that. Maybe I'm just going cuckoo and assuming things that I should not have assumed. Probably didn't need 2 of these for that, but they also get to help out with those guys over there too, so I don't feel like that's a waste of space for these farmhouses. We could put in another kiln over here. I feel like that's a good use of this real estate because we will need more, or we'll need to be able to produce our charcoal instead of swapping back and forth between bricks and charcoal, which is always helpful. All right, planks are moving. I think this is just purely waiting on planks now, so I'm going to pause the gears for a minute. Over here, check on this. That just needs 1 plank there, which is fine, and then this needs another 20 here. This has 83 hours worth of power left to it. That's great. I could just put that 1 spare beaver into there so that they're actively doing something instead of staring off into space. And we can look at this. We can look at that. Grilled corn. Requires just corn and lumber. Lumber is kind of in a bad spot, honestly. I feel like we're burning through it rather heinously. Kind of want to get in here. Well, we don't need to build anything. We can just put in that. Let's... First, I want to check something. Can you reach that? You can, so that means you get another apple tree there. And then... Oh, not that button. I wanted to check that. Yeah, there was mark for cutting. That stinks. Okay. So apple tree there. I think we could even rip out this path right here. Put in a couple more apple trees just to fill in this little gap right there. And make sure that that's not marked for cutting. It is not. That's good. And we can just go ahead and mark the rest of this for cutting on this back end. Sweet. Now we'll have a nice burst in lumber, and now we can actually get over here and maybe think about putting in an additional forester over here as well, and I'm not opposed to that idea at all. These little pockets, they make life so much easier though. I don't have to I don't have to expend lumber to make little levee irrigation ponds, which is so nice, so amazing, and I am here for it. All right, 230 on the science. Is that enough to get into scrap? No, we need another 15 science, which we are slowly working our way that way. How are we doing on corn? Another 3 days left to go. No recipe selected. Yuki, you're in here? Oh, well, how about we make some tomato juice since we've already got some tomatoes? And let's turn this into tomato juice. And you into tomato juice. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. This doesn't require any water. Now, the question is, does that meet... Oops. I don't know if it meets the basic needs of thirst. Okay. So, tomatoes are a perpetual source of water? Question mark? Yeah, I'm down for that. I am down for that. Perpetual source of water that's not the water. Heck yeah, let's go. Does that mean we do more tomatoes? Like a metric poop ton of tomatoes everywhere for everything? I'm here for it. Okay. 250, 100, and you're burning 100 or 50, 50, and that'd be another 120. Okay, we're still not exceeding our requirements there. All right, cool. Let's let that work itself out. We do have one position going unfilled, which is going to be one of the holler positions, which is fine. That is good to see. And we are producing tomato juice, question mark? We are. Wait, oh, it is going in here. Look at that. It kind of looks like bad tide. Bad water. Kind of looks like bad water. Can we make apple juice? We can make apple juice. Do we have enough apples to make apple juice? We have poop ton of tomatoes. We don't have that many in the way of apples. I think they're being eaten as fast as they are being produced, which is kind of stinky. Okay, let's go ahead and put that right here. And if I put another one of these lumberjack flags right here, I can reach all of that. They already put that in so fast. Holy cannoli. All right, that was a very short bad tide. It's already cleared itself out. That means we can get our water back in on this end. I'm happy to see all of that. Lumber's moving in a positive direction. Planks are kind of stagnating a little bit. It doesn't help that we are burning through them like no one's business right now, but it's kind of what we needed to do anyway. And I kind of want... Oh, this is in... I want you to not make... Okay, let's unpause that. I want you to be making coal for now. We don't have a place to store that quite yet. Right? Charcoal, not coal. Charcoal. Two entirely different things. Let's go with the small industrial warehouse right there, I suppose. And we'll put charcoal in there. Sweet. And that means that once we hit that 400 science, we can think about popping this open, but that requires metal blocks. So we can't do that. But what we can do is come in here, hit this double platform right here. Go and rip that across that back end right there. And then think about putting this in right here. We're going to have to rip this out and move it over, or we just put that up over here somewhere, somehow, some way. Or... I don't know. I've built myself into a nice little corner, which is not the best idea. Actually, let's do this. You guys reclaim that material. Vertical lodge. Is this bad? Do they not like this? This requires logs. So let's go and rip those two out. And we'll have a couple beavers that are upset. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad for them. We shall see. I don't know. It'll be something for us to think about and stare at and yeah, contemplate. All right, sweet. We have enough science now. We can get up here and start ripping out some of our scrap metal. So we want to hit that button there. Yes, burn that science, and then hit this button here and burn. Put that in. Grab our path. Grab this bad Johnny. And that puts us right up to there, and we can start ripping out all of these ruins. Now, we're going to have to wait another minute or two to get the smelter unlocked, but we are already prepping the workspace for that. So that would be good. We just need another 300 science or 275 science, which is acceptable. Okay, coal is good, or charcoal is good, so we can pause you, or we could just get you to working clay again. But clay bricks are... our bricks are almost in a pretty good position. So we'll get you working on science. Science is a good use of your time. So this isn't giving these guys the... You're thirsty, Zaktana. Why are you thirsty? There's so much food and water over here. Ooh, let's unpause these guys, actually. That's going to burn out all of our hauling positions, but that's okay. That should be... We have enough time for them to work on that for a period. And maybe we... They are just going straight to the tomato juice. They're not even drinking water anymore. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, tomato juice is my favorite thing ever. I'm not going to touch water ever again. Okay, so lesson observed. They will drink exclusively all of the juices before the water. Which kind of makes sense. The beavers typically drink or eat the foodstuffs that give them the best bonus off rip than anything else. All right, sweet. We have that moving in now. And I'm just now realizing I didn't give myself much in the way of real estate to do anything else in here. Go ahead and put that in right there. I kind of want to put in another press so we can start making our canola oil. And I think we can unpause you. And you can make our grilled corn. I don't have any storage for our grilled corn right now, but I can by putting this in right here. And we grab this path, slap that down, boom. Then you are grilled corn. Boom. Now there's not really a quick way up there, but we can rectify that relatively simple by doing a little something like this, grabbing this button, hitting our stairs button here, going right there, and then wrapping this around like such as. Is that excessive? Yes. Did I do it anyway? Yes. What you gonna judge my terrible choices? Okay, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, I would judge them too, so don't worry about it. Don't you worry. All right, we are working our way over here, so that is pretty good. Once all this gets cleared out, we can actually start pathing over here to start clearing some of this up, getting out all of this blockage on this end, and that means that we can put in our dams and levees on that end, which we have plenty of lumber available to us to actually start working on that. Okay, and planks are moving in the positive direction again too. We don't have a storage space for any of our metal blocks, and I need to check on this power wise. Okay, if I connect this right here, that's not going to help much because we are about to enter into a drought. But for when this is running, that is going to provide us a fair bit of power that we don't have to be overly reliant on the small engine. Now, I do need haulers to get lumber back into there, so I'm gonna have to find somebody to pause. Maybe we pause the builders for now to get some haulers moving and more science running, which we still need another 100 science to go. You guys are sat on your bums because you don't have a place to store any of your material, which means I need a place for that. Which means we need to start building up, which turns into something like this. And that also turns into something like this. Let's go ahead and just tack on additional industrial piles right there. Give me the platform button again. Now that's going to have to rip across like such as. Then we're going to need to go ahead and delete that. Delete that. Put that in there. Put this in again right here. Then put stairs right here. I know this is excessive, but it's what we've got for now until I get another solution going. That'll work. That will do the job. Now, we don't have anybody to build it right now because we've turned all of that off to go do hauling and science stuff, but that's okay. That's something for them to work on in the future. That we should have enough scrap to build the smelter. We have 40, it needs 30, so that means we just need to wait on the next 95 science to rock and roll its way out, which is acceptable. We could probably pause this press. Don't know why I didn't build that portion right there. Choices. I made choices. Okay. Let's go ahead and put another press right here. Flip that there. Will that fit? No, that won't fit like that. Okay. I wanted to do something like maybe like this. Okay, it was back in food. Press. Wrong rotate. That rotate. And then I guess we can just rip this out. Rip that out. On top of that, we put in our smelter back in here, which rotates in and goes like that. But that needs another 45 more science. We'll wait a tick for that to occur, and then we're going to pull this down to 1. We just need the 1 hauler. Going to unpause that, pull that down to 1. We just need the 1 builder for now. I would like to get this built and then this built. So let's give this a drop priority-wise, because I can't do anything up here anyway. We'll go scrap here. We'll go dirt. No dirt yet. Let's go clay. You can be metal blocks, and you can be more logs. More logs are always beneficial. Planks are fine, so we should be able to build this all up relatively quickly. It's just a matter of getting enough beavers to accommodate that. We probably should think about expanding our beaver population just a tad bit more. We're doing much better on water. We're doing decent on food. I do need to pause this because, oops. That's why I didn't want those running during a drought. My bad, G. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, that's just a little bit of tomato, which really stinks because we're making tomato juice and we like the tomato juice here. Need gears on pause, which they are. Good. Yeah, all right, we have the science now, so let's go ahead and get back into industry. Let's hit this. We'll unlock the smelter, get this ripped over here, and we will check on this. Needs bricks. Okay, we didn't need gears for that. That's good to know. But we have bricks. We have 156 bricks. We have the majority of the planks available, and we have the scrap metal available to us. That's going to irk me until they get the rest of that built in, but that's okay. That's acceptable. This is moving in nice and slowly, but that's okay. We are out of haulers, which is not okay. Do we have any positions that we could probably pause for a minute? So, Karma, you are paused. Go be a hauler for us, just to make sure we don't run out of power over here. And I think that we are definitely going to exceed our small engine's capacity here quite rapidly. The moment that this goes in. No. So that's 100, 150, 120. So that's going to be 270, which this is a max capacity of 250. And that's another 120 or 200. Okay. That is not good. We need another engine, which we can do. Not a double. What was the size of this thing? What did this look like? Something like that. Yeah, I can do that. All right, so that means that we're going to go right here. And then look at this one more time. That is good. We can plant that right now. Put this in right now. And then we run the power one at a time this way so that we don't run into an issue. And then we put in a path right there. We'll give this a priority bump over the other stuff that's happening over here. Just because I need the planks to go into this. And the clay. Do I have clay moving? I do have clay moving. I can probably pause you for now to get you into another position, which is hauling. No, we don't need much in the way of hauling quite yet. Let's see here. Yeah, I should not have left those pumping for as long as I did. That was a choice. All right, let's plus that up. Give them one more position. That's totally acceptable. Planks are actually doing pretty darn good right now. I'm pretty happy to see that. I do need to select a recipe, though. We don't have much in the way of apples, but we have a little bit. But I did want to do canola oil. And I've... okay, path. Clean up some of this pathing just a tad bit. That means doing something like that, giving me this, and then like that. And that means that we can come in here to the grill. Put in another grill. That just requires clay. Again, that'll be something for them to work towards. Eventually, we'll let that slowly eke its way out. That requires just a little bit more slappage. And that needs to be just slapped as well. We have an injured beaver. That is not good. All right. Well-being. Let's go ahead and unlock the medical bed. Let's see where we can shove a medical bed. Right here. Well, that looks pretty cool. It looks a little different from the other ones. I like it. It looks pretty Gucci. I don't know what they got injured in, but I'm going to assume it was one of these jobs like this one. Hey, look, it's me. Alright, we are producing canola, so that is good to see. I do want this prioritized next, and we will connect this power hub right there. And we will give this another priority as well over this completion, which is going to take another 26 planks, which we have, but I would like to get this moving so we can get a little bit more food rocking and rolling, because we have this grilled bell pepper storage, which is going underutilized at this moment, and I would like to take advantage of that as soon as be really possible. Which now just means that Kissy Kitten, or Kristen 2, rocks in and rolls out. And we do have canola oil now, officially. That's good. So it takes 2 peppers, 1 canola oil, a little bit of lumber, and that gives us 4 peppers. I don't know if that's a good return on investment, honestly. I feel like that's not the greatest in the way of... yeah, I don't know if I like that or not. A little lackluster. It's okay. We have plenty of bell peppers. Where are they at? 322 bell peppers, and it just, yeah. Maybe it's because it cooks them so fast. 0.63 an hour versus 0.5 an hour for the corn. I don't know. Maybe because the bell peppers pop so fast. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I'll allow that, I suppose. Okay, grilled corn is there. We're a little bit happier because they had some grilled peppers. That's awesome. You love to see that. Okay, next up, getting this moving. All right, we have this connected. We do need to prioritize that by haulers, but I think we're out of haulers. Yes, we are. Means we pull this down by 2 so they can get to work elsewhere, which means this should get filled in, which then in turn means that we can get all of this up and running. I do want to tell them to stop planting this, because I do want to gain a little bit of a path around this side, make their lives a tad bit easier, and we could even do something like put in small storages here, like so. Put in, what did we need? Canola seeds and tomatoes. We're doing the greatest on tomato production, I'm realizing. Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that half of our stuff back here is a little burnt out from dehydration, so that's not cool. Where? Oh, you got the berries. Okay, you are paused. Go do something else productive with your life for a little bit, which means that you're bored, which means that you get to go be a builder for another minute, and that means that all this went in. So that is good. All this storage has been produced for us, which is fan-friggin-tastic. We have metal blocks on the way. They are being produced actively. We have 2. 2 is a lot. I love to see that. Now, we need planks. We need them something fierce. And we need more tomatoes. So many choices. Now, bad water is down here. It's highly dependent upon the bad tide if we want to gain access to bad water up here without crawling down here. Now, that's going to... Being reliant on RNG, not my favorite thing to do. So, let's see here. Metal platform? Interesting. All right. Let's go with triple platform. Go ahead and unlock that. Gonna place that. Yeah, that's of course out of the way. That's not where we want that to go. Let's go right here, right here. We do a single on top. Then we go down. We go there, there. Do another triple here, and we go 2. And then we go 1. Then we go this way, like such as. Now, that gives us access to do this, which means that we can actually come down here, rip and rage down this way, and then we put a couple like that, and then in the near future we can come in here and unlock the bad water pump, which requires another 200 more science, which we don't quite have quite yet, but that's okay. This is going to take a minute for all that to get built anyway. And additionally, maybe we do excessive things here too. So we go like this. We put in that right there, and then we put in another water storage medium tank right here. And maybe put... Yeah, we'll just do water for now. That's totally fine. That's acceptable, and even on top of this, we could do something along the same lines, right? Do a little twofer right there, a little treefer. That's acceptable. And we could put even more storage right there. Bada bing, bada boom. That looks quite efficient, sort of, for the most part. That'll take a minute. They've got to produce the planks. They've got to produce the logs. We do need to get that moving, which means that I've just wrecked our hauling capacity again. Being highly or heavily dependent on the haulers to do anything is quite the pain in the booty. How are we doing on... Yeah, we could probably pause you for grilled peppers and pause you for grilled corn for a minute. We can re-attack that in a little bit when push comes to shove. I need haulers moving and I need science moving. Both a priority at this point. This needs to go. That is gone. This needs to pop up so that that can get taken out. I do need to get one body in here. Do that. Should have not enough. Okay, I thought we put in another house. We did not. All right, another house going in. Need more beavers. Need even more beavers than that. All right. There we go. It's going to be great. Can we do a double lodge? That burns science. I'm not ready for that. And that requires planks? Oh my goodness. Triple lodge requires... What does this look like? Just looks like the regular triple lodge. What does a tenement lodge look like? Jeez Louise, that is insane. Right, Still have an injured beaver. They're chilling over here. Southern Karma, what were you doing? You're not supposed to be getting hurt like that, alright? And now you're starving and injured. Alright, stop it. Stop it. Alright, sweet. Let's go ahead and grab this. Rip that across there. Maybe we do food over here instead of lumber. I feel like we're kind of hurting in the lumber department more than anything, honestly. Or in the food department rather than the lumber department. We have the real estate, but I want to get more tomatoes going because we're not producing enough to meet the demand for, like, tomato juice. We have plenty of tomatoes. They're just eating them? You're out of canola seeds, which kind of makes sense. But, well, no, there's canola seeds right here. That's fine. That's fine. I need to expand storage a fair amount over here as well. That means what is this storage requirements? Let's look at this. Large warehouse requires 80 planks. We definitely don't have the planks right now because I put all of this in over here. And that's eating through all of our planks right now. I do want to give this stuff a plus up, as well as maybe give this a plus up. Or no, that regular, this a plus up, since we've already got that done. And that's just a little bit more in the way of plank production. Water's capped off again, though, so that means that we do want more water being brought in, which is always a good thing. I still see here. Network supplies. Why aren't these running? Because we're out of haulers again. Darn it. Okay. I need a builder, but I need haulers too. Okay. Haulers are a premium, apparently, with the Emberpelts, so let's come over here and pause you, I suppose. We will pause you 3. I don't want to run into that same issue that I did before. All right, now we have haulers moving stuff. And we have a spare beaver to be a builder, which is totally acceptable, which means these get put in a little bit quicker, allegedly. How are we doing with this over here? Can I fit a lumberjack flag underneath this? No, I cannot. Boo. This is fine. This is all covered. If I can get a beaver back into there, that'll be all covered. You need to check this. We have Zakatana moving stuff around. So that's half full. That's half full as well. That's good. That means we have a source of power coming along. This is still not complete. What are they doing otherwise? They're doing that because that went in first. So let's go here. This doesn't require planks. That just requires logs. I need beaver population to go boom. All right? You guys hear me? Guys, make the babies. Make the baby beavers so we can get population moving, so we can start filling in all these positions. So I'm not constantly fighting or playing the balancing act. Okay? You guys feel me? You getting what I'm putting down? You understanding what I'm getting at? Good. Let's get over here. And I think we can rip that out without having any problems. So that means that we come down here, grab this path, grab that path over here. And then we demolish these one at a time, replacing them with levees, and then we crawl on top of the levees and backfill it with dams. Yes, that's what we want to do. That's going to be a a priority because I want to save more water back in here. I like that idea of saving more water back here. So that gets to get tossed in. That's already almost done. Just needs our planks, which we're kind of hurting on again. It's fine. Let's pause. Maybe we pause one of these guys up here. I don't think we need 2 scrappers going. Then we can come over here and plus up our builders. One little bit. We do need to expand industry because our industry area is looking a little tight. We could move industry on top of here. Can't really put stairs on top of our power shafts, which is kind of stinky, but it's understandable. Okay, let's see. What else can we work on? Next tier of engine is a ways away. That means we don't need as many engines, I suppose. This produces enough power for as much power as a singular engine. It does burn coal, or charcoal, sorry. But we have charcoal, which is good. Look at that. There it is. There's our charcoal. That looks pretty cool. A little flat. It looks like a pile of dirt. Just black pile of dirt, which kind of makes sense a little bit. Cool. Let's go ahead and plus this up priority-wise. We're not fighting this. This is in, so that's good. When we can start pumping out more water, we can do all of that. Now, though, we are down here. We can unlock the bad water pump, which was the entire reason of crawling down here in the first place. And additionally, we can start pathing around the outer edge. Now this, I'm going to remove this path as soon as we're done with it, because I know what this does to all of our stuffs. This is not conducive to a very nicely running Timberborn game, having paths all the way around here. But if we block this off, then even during the droughts, we can pump out some bad tide or bad water, which will be beneficial to us. We're not fully dependent on bad tides and or tempered cycles to acquire the materials that we need. Now, we should have all of the materials that we need to build the, at least one, I suppose. We need to, I guess I never thought to put in a storage for gears. That's on me. That is that button right there. And we're already almost in the bad water. We are cruising. I'm happy to see it. We've got 5 days left in this drought. Got plenty of water, plenty-ish of food. Not the greatest in the way of food. We do have a bonus beaver that can go into there. You can focus on harvesting and you can focus on planting. That will put us in a good position. I probably should put in a storage, a small tank for canola oil, so that when I finish up with what canola I do, I can just throw it in there and we can store some more of that, which means we get to make more grilled peppers, which means I also need to get in here and unpause these two because we are running low on food stuffs to include our grilled corn and such, and so on, which is not a good thing to see. All right, and now we can go ahead and tack in our levee here. We will give this a priority bump. And I probably should drop this priority-wise. The same thing for those two, since I can't really do anything with that for now. Well, this one's already almost done. We'll just let them finish that. That means that's in. We demolish that portion. Then we come back around and we keep doing that. We let them Well, I need to give these priorities. Otherwise, they're going to go fight other things. Like build this down here, which is acceptable. But it takes them 5 years to get around to do that. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Give that a priority bump too. Everything's a priority, so nothing's a priority, as they say. Maybe I drop all of these by 1. Just so I'm not constantly having to increase the priority of stuff that I'm building in their place. Now, you don't need to be in there, because ain't nothing being done. You are empty. You are empty. We're not moving science right now, which is no bueno. Pause grilled corn for a minute. So we could pause the grilled peppers one way or the other. We've got science moving again, so that is good to see. I do need to come over here, demolish that, and give that a priority bump. And we can actually demolish this one and give that a priority bump as well. Since they are right next to each other, I don't have to fight for them to gain access to that. And now we can do a levee here. And then on top of that, we put 1 dam right there. Once they get those built, then we can put the dam on top of that. And then that will save a fair bit of water back in here. And that also means that we don't flood ourselves, theoretically, and that will be a good thing. How are they? I could, well, no. I don't know how they're doing that, but okay, whatever. I'm not going to complain. Things are going in, so that's all that really matters. And once that last 4 logs go in, we put in our last little dam right here. And that will be good. That's the appropriate priority. Now we have a population explosion. We just had beavers come out the wazoo. Alright. Well, now they can all go and do things for us. I think we just... Yeah, we had so many grow up at the same exact time. That is going to cause some major fluctuations in our... everything for a minute. So that's going to be mildly obnoxious, but that's fine now. We have... Well, you don't even need to be there anymore. There's... Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's fine. We're not to explosives quite yet, but we are encroaching upon it. And once we have enough science, we can rip this small engine out. Once we've stored up enough material to rip that out, we can get in our engine, which we have enough metal blocks for that. We do not have enough gears for that, but we should have that soon. Obviously, we need the science for it too, but that'll take a second to get to. There's the end of our drought. These droughts are exceptionally short. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about how short they are. Just surprised at how short they are. Right? Sweet. Now we have bad water to play with. And we even have platforms to put right here. To even put in some small tanks right here for bad water. They are putting all of these in, so we should have some storage. That's going to mix, but I'm okay with it mixing a little bit. This is totally fine. That is backfilled or filled in to this end. We do need to plus this up. I need to check to make sure that we have at least a few haulers in here. Where did we pull from? Pulled from science, which I don't like. And pulled from some other places too. I think we can pause metal blocks for a minute. That's acceptable. Gears, I want to keep running planks. I need to keep running. Canola oil, I would like to keep running because we need that for our grilled peppers, but we're full on grilled peppers, so we could probably pause canola oil. Tomato juice, I want to keep running because it's a source of water basically for us, and that is always good to have. I love that a lot. Now, I'd like to expand that a lot a bit. I do need to come over here and unpause this workplace. We can get these apples, which have been not picked for a minute. Pull that down to 2. Does that mean that this spot gets filled? Yes, it does. Good. You are almost done with all of that. That's good to see. We do have a bad tide approaching. That is meh, I suppose. Do have this going in down here. That is good. Just need the last few planks. You're sat in your bum because there's nowhere to store any of that, and we're not actively doing anything with those explosives right now. Now, I do want to look at this. So, two-way levees, not what I want. Two-way tunnel. That requires extract. Tunnels through the terrain, replacing it with another building. Using. Does this? Can I do this down? Like this. I can't really do anything. I can't even test it right now because I don't have enough science to look at it. I will have to look at that in the dev mode or something on another playthrough. I'm curious to know if I can just build straight down with the tube-way tunnel, because that would be really helpful. Get down into this crevasse. Now we don't. So it'd be a tube-way tunnel. We'd have to come down here, create a tunnel-like system down in here as well. And then blast this portion out somehow to gain stair access to all that. Huh. Or we could just blast our way down. I'm not entirely sure. Or we could blast our way in. That wouldn't be a bad way to get in, I guess. Come out this side and then go in. I'm okay with that. But that requires, again, extract, which we don't have available to us. I like the small two-way station. That's pretty neat. That's tiny compared to this guy. I love it. It takes up a lot less real estate. That's awesome. That is beautimous, beautimous, beautimous. Tube-way levee. That's so cool. I really like this mod pack a lot. All right. I've been yapping for way too long. I'm happy to say that we are making some good progress. We made some good steps down the tree, the tech tree, if you will. We've got good food, good water solutions. I'm pointing at the wrong thing as I'm saying them. We've got lumber. I wouldn't say galore quite yet, but we're working our way towards that. We've got water storage up here. Next thing is to increase that water storage, which means getting down here and blasting some of this stuff out, or creating some sort of levee, or not levee, reservoir, maybe some sort of water tower over here. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. To store up enough water to feed this as the bad tides and droughts get progressively longer. And of course, I want to continue to build up, because we're kind of reaching our limits as far as what is available to us right now. So that means building up, going to a second tier, making tiered tiered farming areas, tiered forestry areas, so on and so forth. That, of course, requires irrigation, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But that is for us to figure out next time. Again, I am thoroughly impressed with this map. It's very beautiful. It plays nice. It has some challenges, not the most technical challenges, again, as I said before. And I'm liking the Emberpelts. If you haven't checked out the Emberpelt mod, check it out. And I appreciate you guys for being here. If you haven't already hit that like button, please do. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate that as well. We are encroaching on that mythical 1,000 subscriber mark. I know, big number for little old me sitting in the middle of nowhere playing with my beavers. But I do appreciate you all. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Make sure you guys stay nice and healthy, nice and hydrated, nice and awesome. And remember, stay thirsty. I'll catch y'all in the next episode of Timberborn. I don't know what to do with my hands. Z, I'm out. See ya.